We are learning the trends in atomic properties of first transition series, that is the 3D series. Now the magnetic property, about the fourth property, that is the magnetic property, I already speak with you that the elements which have unpaired electron in their d orbitals, vacant d orbital is maximally vacant, 2, 2, 3, 4 such electrons are present into that, and they are generally unpaired electron. So the elements which have unpaired electron in their d orbitals are generally paramagnetic, and the other elements which have paired electrons in their outermost shells are the diamagnetic, but transition elements are the paramagnetic. That is the 3D element from scandium to, that is the zinc. All these elements are paramagnetic in nature. Now there are some these elements such as ferrous, cobalt, nickel among the transition metals. These are such metals which are also called as the ferromagnetic. Why they are called as ferromagnetic? Because we can permanently magnetize them. And why we can permanently magnetize them? As that of the magnet. Now these elements, ferrous, iron, have the 5 to 4 unpaired electron. 4 unpaired electron, because the d orbital contains 6, so 4 unpaired electron in the iron. In cobalt, there are also in cobalt about, that is 5 unpaired electron, and in nickel there are also, that is the 3 unpaired electron. Now these are ferromagnetic because when the magnetic field is applied externally, all the unpaired electron in these metals and their compounds also, unpaired electron in their metals and in their compounds also align in the direction of magnetic field. Align in the direction of magnetic field. That means the magnetic, that is the property increases or enhance. When we apply the external magnetic field, all the unpaired electron in these metals and their compounds align in the direction of the magnetic field. Due to this, what happened? The magnetic susceptibility enhanced, that is increases. Magnetic susceptibility increases or enhanced when the external magnetic field is applied on these elements or the compounds of these elements. The compounds of these elements, when external magnetic field are applied, the magnetic susceptibility enhances or increases. So these metals can be magnetized. That is, they acquire permanent magnetic moment. The magnetic moment can be calculated. We can calculate the magnetic moment by the formula. That is mu. Mu is the magnetic moment, is equal to under root of n plus 2 Bohr's magnetum. Now this Bohr's magnetum is the unit to measure the magnetic moment. You know that in 11th standard we already learn about the magnetic moment. Some of the compounds have the magnetic moment. They are the non-polar compounds. That magnetic moment is measured in mu. It is read as the mu. Mu is equal to under root of n plus 2 Bohr's magnet. And here mu is the magnetic moment, and the unit of the mu is Bohr's magneton, Bm. When and here n is the number of unpaired electrons. If we substitute the value of n as equal to 1, and if we calculate, that is the 1 unpaired electron is present, such as scandium, into that n is equal to 1 unpaired electron. So if we substitute the value of n as equal to 1, the value of Bohr's value of the magnetic moment is equal to 1.73 Bohr's magnet. You can calculate by putting the value n is equal to 1. you obtain the value 1.73 Bohr's magneton. Now this magnetic moment mu is directly proportional to the unpaired electron. That means what? As the number of unpaired electron increases, magnetic momentum also increases. Magnetic moment increases. This formula is also called as the spin only formula, because the only the spin momentum is taken here in case of the first series of the transition element, and not the angular momentum is taken. So this formula is also called as the spin only formula. Now this is about the magnetic properties. If they ask you the question why some transition metals like ferrous, cobalt, nickel are called they are the ferromagnetic, then that is this is its answer. Now let us study the next, that is the trends in atomic property of the first transition series, that is about the color. Now all the compounds and all these metals are generally colored. Transition metals are colored. Then what will be the result? The main result is they have the d orbital containing unpaired electrons, and that unpaired electron absorb the visible wavelength of the light, some part of the visible wavelength of the light, and emits another part of the wavelength of the light. And due to that, what happened? The transition elements are colored. Now the color depends upon the wavelength of absorption in that case. Now a substance appear colored only if it absorbs a portion of visible light. Remember that. And the color depends upon the wavelength of the absorption in the visible region of the electromagnetic radiations. What visible region is absorbed, and what visible region of electromagnetic radiations is emit, that depends the color. The color depends on that. Now generally the color of that compound or substances are the color which are emitted, the wavelength, the portion of the visible wavelength which is emitted. All compounds of the transition elements are colored because they contain the unpaired electron in their d orbitals. Now let us see how the complementary colors are there. That means how the one substance looks blue or red or orange, and from which it depends. Let us study. Now see here how the light, visible light, is absorbed by the electrons which are present into the d orbital, that is the unpaired electron. Now as the d orbital of these transition elements have the same principal quantum number, that means all the 5 d orbitals in the d subset have same value of principal quantum number. Now therefore very small amount of energy is required to transmit the electron or to go the electron from one d orbital to the another d orbital. So they absorb very small amount of part of the visible light, and maximum part of the visible light get emitted. And the color of that substance is always that color which is emitted by that substance. Which color wavelength is emitted by that substance. For example, if a substance is appear blue, then the unpaired electron present in the d orbital absorb the wavelength of red light. Now I show here on blackboard some complementary colors. These colors are called as the complementary colors. Now see, the red have the complementary color blue, orange have green, and yellow have violet complementary color. That means if the wavelength of red color is absorbed, the substance appear blue, because the wavelength of blue color is emitted. When the atoms are in a free state or in the isolated state, their 5 d orbitals are degenerate. Degenerate means they have the same energy. The 5d orbitals have the same energy. But in complex, when the metal ions are present in complex, what is there? There are the ligands are present around it. The ligands may be the solvent molecules. And due to that, what happened? Now all the 5d orbitals are not generated. That means they have not the same energy. But if the that compounds or elements absorb some energy, light energy, what happened? They requires very small amount of light energy to transmit the electron from one d orbital to another d orbital. And during transmission, what happened? When the electron transmit from one d orbital to another d orbital, what happened there? There only small amount of visible light is absorbed, and by the electrons and certain wavelength, the visible light are of the certain wavelength. Very small amount of visible light, part of the visible light is absorbed with the certain wavelength, and the remaining light is transmitted. And the remaining light is transmitted, and the color of the compound is then the complementary color of the absorbed light. What is meant by complementary color? The color of the wavelength which is emitted. The part of the wavelength which is emitted, that color is observed. If red color is absorbed, then the color of the compound will be blue. Now see, again what is there? If the red color is absorbed, then the transmitted light contain excess of other color in the spectrum, in particularly blue color, and so the compound appears blue. Remember that may be asked you in the Q region, why there is the particular color observed by the compounds of the d block element or the transition element. Now that is the reason. The ions having no unpaired electrons are colorless. If there is no unpaired electron, that compounds are white in color. That means they are colorless. Colorless compound do not have the unpaired electron in their outermost d orbitals. All the electrons are paired into that. For example, some ions such as copper having the +1 state. In their 3d orbital, all the electrons are paired, that is the 10 electrons. So they may be asked you give reason why the Cu plus ion, Ti plus 4 ion are white or colorless in nature. Their compounds are white. Why? Give reason. Because see, the 3d orbital in Cu plus ion is completely filled having d orbital. 10 electrons are there. In a titanium having the +4 state, all the 4 electrons from the 4s are in, from the 4s 2 electrons, and from the, that is 3p 2 electrons are eliminated, and all the 3d electrons, 3d orbital do not contain any electron, because there is the 0 electron, 2 electron from the d orbital. Titanium has a 2 electron in the d orbital and 2 electron into the 4s orbital. All the 4 electrons get eliminated. So titanium +4 state is also colorless. If the compounds of titanium +4 state are there, they are also colorless. When cobalt chloride is dissolved in water, it forms the pink solution, because cobalt +2 ion has the octahedral geometry, and they are the unpaired electron. And this solution is when treated with the hydrochloric acid, what happens? It turns into the deep blue color. Why this happen? Because the change is due to the formation of another complex. When cobalt hydrated complex is converted into cobalt chloride complexes, the complex is totally changed, and which has the tetrahedral structure. First it has the octahedral structure because 6 ligands, water ligands, but when it converts into the cobalt chloride form, it has the tetrahedral structure, and in this way the color, pink color, is converted into the blue color. So what is the region of the color of the transition metal ions? The first region is presence of unpaired d orbital, that is very important. Second is there is dd transition, because all the d orbital generally have the same energy, and so the electron requires very less energy to go from one d orbital to another d orbital. Nature of the ligands attached to the metal ion also contribute the color. Now we see when the water molecules are ligands of the cobalt, it have the pink color, and when chloride ions are the ligand, it have the that is blue color. Also the color depends upon the geometry of the complex formed by the metal ion, because cobalt hexahydrate have the octahedral geometry, but cobalt tetrachloride have the square planar geometry, and due to that also the color changes. Now this is about the color of the property, that is the color of the transition metals.